if I told you there are some very smart people who believe that every person who exists, who has ever existed, is essentially the same person? If you aren't already familiar with this concept, your instinct is probably to dismiss it as a crazy idea. That was my reaction when I first heard about it. But the more I delved into this idea and read the logical and philosophical arguments for it, the more I came to see that this wasn't some kooky New Age type idea. It's an idea with a lot of logical points supporting it, and it's an idea that resolves a lot of the perplexing and confusing aspects of consciousness and existence that many thinkers have puzzled over. It also happens to dovetail with ideas about consciousness found in Buddhist thought. This idea goes by different names. The most common name for this idea is open individualism, coined by Daniel Kolak, who is perhaps the person most well known for this idea. He's a philosopher and the author of a book titled I Am You, The Metaphysical Foundations for Global Ethics. Another name for this idea is universalism, coined by Arnold Zuboff. Arnold is known for a 1990 paper on this topic titled Oneself, The Logic of Experience. He also has a book coming out titled Finding Myself, Beyond the False Boundaries of Personal Identity. I'll read from the foreword of that book, written by the well-known philosopher Thomas Nagel. Zuboff proposes and defends with creative philosophical arguments a radically original conception of the mind, according to which the distinction between selves, between me and you, for example, is an illusion. There is only one subject of consciousness. It is the subject of all consciousness, and it is equivalent to the first-person immediacy shared by all conscious experience. The separate bundles of experience in the lives of distinct conscious organisms do not have separate subjects, but share a universal quality of subjective immediacy, which it is easy for each of us to mistake for a unique individual I in our own case." End quote. So that's a pretty succinct summary of what the idea is about, although of course if this idea is new to you, there will be much more to say before you get the idea of it. Nagel goes on to say, both the conclusion and the argument will certainly seem incredible, even outrageous to many readers, but the whole is presented with such care and skill that it should be regarded as an important contribution, even by those who are not persuaded. The relation of the mind to the world is so mysterious that it is not philosophically reasonable to dismiss any view